In module number 14 on Oversight and Operations in our CompTIA Security Plus Guide to Network Security Fundamentals, we'll be talking about the oversight and operations. Now, governance in cybersecurity is a critical framework that helps organizations to manage and secure their information assets. So that's why it's important to understand that what are the implications of it and how can we protect our infrastructures. This framework is built on three major pillars, which is assign, oversee, and report. So we'll be discussing all of them. So each of these plays a vital role in ensuring the cybersecurity efforts and that they are comprehensive and are aligned with the organizational objectives. So if we'll see assign, first of all, we'll have to define it first, that it's a process of delegating the cybersecurity responsibilities to ensure clear accountability and effective management of IT security risks. Now, in that one, we'll have to make sure that we know the guys who are responsible for certain things, and there is an accountability on that the responsibility of a particular thing relies on shoulders of someone. Role definition should be there, clearly defining the roles and responsibilities, and authority granting should be there, empowering designated personnel with the authority to manage and simplify the IT tasks, etc. So as you can see that we have started with a role. Each person knows exactly what their security responsibility is, but it doesn't stop there. It also involves granting authority. It means that ensuring that the right people have the necessary power to make the decisions and take actions concerning the IT security risks. This step is a fundamental because it establishes a structure where accountability is clear, which is crucial for effective security management. So the example could be a corporation assigns a data protection officer, DPO, to oversee the compliance with GDPR, ensuring that the data protection tasks are managed and dedicated by a dedicated expert. After that, what comes in front of us is an oversee, managing and monitoring the execution of security strategies to ensure they are effective and aligned with the organization goals. So make sure that the policies that you have defined, they are in harmony with the organization goals. So the strategy implementation should be there, monitoring the implementation of cybersecurity strategies across departments, and performance reviews, regularly reviewing the performance and effectiveness of the implemented strategies. So once roles and responsibilities are assigned, the next step is oversight. This is where the strategic vision of the cybersecurity is put into practice. Oversight involves a couple of key activities. First, their strategy implementation. This is where the organization would monitor how well the cybersecurity strategies are being executed across different departments. Are they effective? Do they align with the overall goals? Alongside this, there are performance reviews as well. Regular evaluations are conducted to assess the effectiveness of the strategies that have been implemented. So the continuous monitoring would ensure that the organization security measures remain robust over time and adapt the new challenges as they arise, and you'll know about them. So the example could be that IT management conducts quarterly reviews of their cybersecurity measures to adjust these strategies as needed based on evolving threats and organization changes. The next one is report, regularly providing updates on the security posture of the stakeholders to ensure the transparency and inform the decision making. So if there is an incident, documentation and proper reporting of security incidents is important. Compliance updates should be there, like keeping the stakeholders informed about the compliance with the relevant laws and things related to that. Now, finally, we are talking about reporting. This aspect of governance is all about communication. Regular updates on the organization security posture are provided to stakeholders. Why? To ensure the transparency and to avoid the informed decisions are being taken, and you have updated the stakeholders. Reporting isn't just about the progress. It includes the incident reporting where the security issues are documented and communicated properly. It also involves the compliance updates, keeping everyone informed about how well the organization is meeting relevant laws and regulations. This continual flow of the information is vital for maintaining the trust and ensuring that everyone is on the same page regarding cybersecurity. So example could be annual security report is presented to stakeholders as a report on the current security posture, highlighting the potential vulnerabilities and proposing a necessary upgrade or the change, whatever they have adapted or they are planning to do. Then we have overview of security principles. In that one, first of all, what would come in our mind is the accountability. Accountability is defined as ensuring all actions within the IT governance are traceable and justified to maintain responsibility across all levels. So it's a fundamental thing in governance, ensuring that all actions in the cybersecurity are traceable and justified. This means that every decision made and action taken must be recorded and traceable back to its origin, known as traceability. Moreover, these actions should have a clear and reasonable rationale, which refers to the justification. This level of accountability ensures that all activities can be audited and the responsibilities can be confirmed, thereby supporting ethical and legal standards. So the example could be implementing audit trails and the tracks across the changes to sensitive data, ensuring actions can be traced back to the specific users. Then we have leadership. In leadership, it's guiding the organization towards robust security practices through strong, decisive, and informed leadership. So it would include setting precise cybersecurity goals and objectives, strategic direction, which serve as the North Star of all the security efforts. It also involves ensuring that there are enough resources. So we are talking about resource allocation dedicated to achieving these objectives. Effective leadership ensures that the organization not only aims for the robust security practices, but also commits the necessary tools and personnels and further funds to achieve these goals. So the Chief Information Security Officer would develop and direct a strategic cybersecurity plan that aligns with the organization overall risk management and strategy. Then we have integrity. Integrity says that upholding high ethical standards in all cybersecurity practices to foster a trust and reliability. So the principle ensures that all security practices and responses to incidents are conducted with the highest ethical standards. So we are talking about ethical standards. They are consistently applied across the operations. And if we talk about consistency, it's upholding the integrity fosters that are reliability among stakeholders, ensuring that they feel confident in the organization, handling the sensitive information and security challenges, etc. So the example could be enforcing a zero tolerance policy for data manipulation and concealment within IT operations. Then we have stewardship. It means that managing information security resources responsibly to protect and enhance their value. This would involve, of course, the resource management, ensuring that all security resources are used effectively and efficiently. And if we talk about sustainability, it means that maintaining the security and viability of the IT resources over the long term. Good stewardship ensures that resources are not wasted and investments in security continue to benefit the organization in the future. So an annual security report is presented to stakeholders, and the report on current security posture highlight the potential vulnerabilities and proposes the necessary upgrades or changes if they are required. Then we are talking about transparency. Now, transparency is maintaining the openness about the security processes and practices to promote understanding and trust among the stakeholders. So it would involve mainly open communication with stakeholders and cybersecurity issues, and ensuring that the disclosure practices are robust. Then we'll talk about disclosure practices. That's the transparency which would help in building trust and ensure that the stakeholders are fully informed about how security issues are handled and how their data is being protected. So by following all that and understanding and implementing these security principles, accountability, leadership, integrity, stewardship, and transparency, they are essential in maintaining the effectiveness, ethical, robust cybersecurity frameworks. Now we'll be talking about different roles and responsibilities that we have in the organizations. We'll start from CISO to IT security manager, security analyst, compliance officer, network security engineer, and the incident response team. So first of all, Chief Information Security Officer would oversee the entire cybersecurity program, ensure the compliance and regulatory requirements are aligned with the cybersecurity policies and the business objectives, etc. So we can say that CISO is a senior level executive responsible for developing and implementing an information security program, which includes procedures, policies designed to protect enterprise communication systems and assets for both internal and external threats. An example of that could be that develop strategic security plan or the task which would be there for the policies, conduct the risk assessment and manage the security budget. So the example of this one could be that for example, Chief Information Security Officer will oversee a broad range of cybersecurity initiatives and may report directly to the Chief Executive Officer or the Board of Directors, ensuring that the organization's security strategies aligned well with the overall goals and the regulatory requirements. Then we have IT Security Manager, which would implement the security policies and procedures to manage the daily operations of the cybersecurity team. A task could be supervise the security staff, oversee incident response activities, and conduct the training sessions, etc. So the example could be that an IT security manager at a bank might coordinate regular security assessments and audits to ensure that the financial data is protected against any sort of breaches, etc. Then we have security analysts, which would monitor and analyze the organization's security posture on an ongoing basis, identify the vulnerabilities, respond to the security breaches, and the task could be performing the vulnerability scans, analyze the security alerts, or investigate the breaches and incidents, etc. So if we'll take an example of a security analyst in a technical company may regularly scan the network for vulnerabilities and assess the emerging security threats, providing crucial data to inform security or enhance the security in your organization. Then we have a compliance manager or the compliance officer, which ensures that the organization meets the external regulatory requirements. A task could be review the current policies, conduct compliance audits, reports, compliance status, and provide the update to the higher management. So the compliance officer at a healthcare provider would ensure that all data handling practices are in compliance with HIPAA regulations. The network security engineer designs, implements, and maintains a secure network architecture. Task could be configuring firewalls, updates, network implementations, or the equipment, monitor the network traffic for any suspicious activities, etc. So a network security engineer in a government agency may design the firewalls, implement VPNs, or monitor the network traffic to prevent unauthorized data leaks, etc. Incident response teams, they specialize groups which are tasked with managing the response to the security breaches. They would develop the response plans to mitigate the damages during the security incidents conducted, post-incident analysis, etc. So these teams are the teams which are responsible. For example, in an online retailer might quickly isolate the or try to mitigate the damage from the data breach, working in a secure network to prevent further unauthorized access, etc. Now we have policy management, and we know that policy management plays an important role in any organization. So we'll be covering several vital aspects to help organizations protect their data and maintain efficient operations. We'll talk about policy management, software development lifecycle, the payment card industry, and the crucial roles of the compliance monitoring and automation in security. So in that, first of all, we have acceptable user policy, or we call it a policy management as well. It's a set of rules which are applied by the owner to manage by the owner or manager of the network or the website or a server that restrict the ways in which the network, website, or the system may be used, and set the guidelines for its usage, etc. So what we are talking about here is that it's one of the central aspect of policy management is acceptable user policy. This policy defines the rules, the organization's IT resources, detailing that what is permitted and what's not permitted. It helps ensure that everyone is using the IT resources, knows their responsibilities and the boundaries of acceptable behavior, thus safeguarding the organization from risk associated with the misuse of the malicious activities which could be there in your organization. The example could be a company can use acceptable user policy, which would prohibit any use of work email accounts for personal communications or the installation of unauthorized software on company computers, etc. So then we have software development lifecycle. In that we have guidelines that outline standards for secure and efficient development or software development within an organization. So moving on to the SDLC, this is a framework that guides the development of the software in a systematic and efficient manner. Within SDLC, security is the priority, and the SDLC policy sets standards to ensure software is developed securely. So the policy covers various stages of development, from the initial requirements gathering to post-deployment, maintenance, embedding security checks and balances, like throughout the life cycle of any software development. Regular compliance checks are also part of SDLC policy, ensuring that every phase meets the internal and external standards, thus maintaining the integrity and security of the software testing, etc. So we have different things in this one. We are just defining the it over here again, where acceptable user policy would be the guidelines for proper use of IT resources. Example could be that prohibiting any use of the company devices for personal tasks. And SDLC are the standards for secure software development. Mandatory code reviews, etc. are there. So organizations may have SDLC policy which would require all software which is undergoing testing and code review, etc. before deployment, to detect the vulnerabilities which are there at the earliest stages possible in the development phase before you'll shift it to the production servers. Then we have PCI DSS. It's a set of security standard which is designed to ensure that all companies that accept, process, store, or transmit credit card information maintains it in a secure environment. So this standard is crucial for organizations that handle credit card information. It outlines security measures needed to protect the cardholders' data to prevent the credit card fraud. So the key components of the PCI DSS would include data protection measures like encryption and firewalls, stringent access controls to ensure only authorized persons can access the sensitive data, and continuous monitoring and testing of the security infrastructure to identify and rectify vulnerability swiftly. So data protection is there, access control and monitoring and testing would be there. So example is a retail company would implement PCI DSS to encrypt the transactions data, setting up secure network and regularly auditing the security protocols to protect the customer credit card information. Then we have compliance monitoring. It's a continuous process of verifying that the practices and procedures within an organization comply with the external and regulatory requirements of the internal policies, etc. So this would include regular audits that assess the conformity of the practices within the organization to set the guidelines and reporting mechanisms that keep the stakeholders informed about the compliance status. So when discrepancies are found, any sort of discrepancies, corrective actions are implemented to bring the operations back to compliance, thereby maintaining the organization's integrity and reputation. So the example could be a financial institution would use compliance monitoring techniques such as regular audits and real-time transaction monitoring to ensure the ongoing adherence to the banking transactions, etc. In the last, we have the automation and security. That's the use of technology to perform security operations and responses automatically through the software that integrates into security systems. So we'll have different systems that would make sure that the technology-driven approach is there, which uses the software to automate the management of the security operations, from detecting threats to responding to incidents. So automation plays an important role in identifying the potential threats by quickly using sophisticated algorithms that can respond to the real-time threats and can mitigate the risk in real time. The benefits of incorporating the automation is very significant. It would include the increased efficiency, the reduction of the human error, and the ability to scale the security operations in line of the organization growth without corresponding or without increasing any resources or costs, etc. So automated and threat detection or automated response systems. We have covered incident detection systems and prevention systems. They play an important role when implemented in organizations. So they would notify it as soon as a threat is there in your organization, that something's not normal. So the example could be a network management system automatically detects the unusual outbound traffic which temporarily blocks it while alerting the administrator to prevent or to take any measures to avoid any sort of data breaches. Then there are lots of benefits of automation in security as well. So the advantages could be gained by implementing the automation within the security operations, particularly improving the overall operational efficiency and reducing the human error. So in today's fast-paced digital world, the use of automation in security has become the necessity for the organization. So it's not a luxury, but it's a requirement. So automation brings the technology to the forefront of the cybersecurity, performing tasks that humans traditionally handle. Now this shift only speeds up the response time, but it also increases the efficiency and effectiveness of the security operations. Automated systems excel in the threat detection by employing artificial intelligence or maybe machine learning to shift the thorough data and identification of different threats swiftly and accurately. Once the threats are detected, the incident response systems would take over, executing predefined rules, and would handle these threats without the need of any human interaction. But you'll have to make sure that the policies which are defined, they are up to the mark, and you are constantly updating them for any latest threats which are there in the market. So we can see increased efficiency, reduction in human error, and scalability. So an automated system for patch management applies necessary security updates across all organization computers, ensuring that all systems are up to date, and there is no individual which is making sure to deploy all those patches to the computers. Only in that way we can make sure that our organization is secure. Then we have compliance monitoring. Sorry, that was repeated. We'll be talking about benefits of automation in security. So advantages of integrating automation into the security practices could be there could be lots of benefits of it, but the integration of automation into security practices would offer numerous advantages. Primarily, it would enhance the security and response resolutions, dealing with the threats at a speed that manual processes simply cannot match. Automation will also significantly reduce the human errors, which are often inevitable in a repetitive task, etc. Moreover, scalability is there, which becomes more manageable with the automation, allowing the security measures to grow in tandem with the organization without the need for proportional increase in staffing and resources, etc. So the example could be an automated log management solution that not only collects the logs but also analyzes them for anomalies, reducing the overhead of security personnel, etc. Then we have security orchestration and automation response. Now this is a suite of solutions designed to allow organization to collect the data about the security threats and respond to low-level security events without human assistance. So security orchestration and automation response is a technology stack in a vital modern organization infrastructures. So we call them SOAR as well, which allows the organization to collect extensive data about the security threats and manage low-level security events automatically without human input. It does this by aggregating the data from various resources, providing a comprehensive view that is crucial for effectively managing the incidents and analyzing them. So once the data is compiled, automated workflows would assess the and prioritize the incidents seemingly the process from the detection and response, etc. So we'll streamline all the process where we will collect the data from different nodes, we'll analyze it using this application, and it would make sure that our organization is secure from any sort of attacks like that. So example could be implementing a SOAR would automatically adjust the firewall settings in response to the detection threats based on the severity and the confidence levels, etc. Then we have threat hunting analysis or the analytics, the proactive security practices that involve searching through the networks and detect and isolate the advanced threats that evade the existing security solutions, etc. So we'll have to make sure that a proactive approach would involve the searching through the networks to pinpoint and isolate the sophisticated threats that might bypass the conventional security measures. This process is not just about technology but also involves skilled professionals such as incident responders, penetration testers, and threat hunters. Each would play a specific role in identifying and mitigating those threats, etc. So example could be threat hunters use the behavioral analytics to identify the unusual network traffic that could indicate a breach, or even if a malware detection tool is used to identify any sort of threats which are there. Then there are different roles in threat hunting and advanced analytics, which would be specific responsibilities assigned to cybersecurity professionals who are engaging in the threat hunting analytics. So in this one, the threat hunting process itself is a methodological and systematic approach. It begins with the hypothesis formation, where the theories about the potential threats are developed based on the current knowledge vulnerabilities. These hypotheses are then tested through the rigorous test analysis and patterns recognition to either confirm or dismiss the potential security issues. Upon identifying a threat, the process moves to resolution and strengthening where these threats are or how can we neutralize these threats, and the defenses are usually nullified in the process of identifying them. So the penetration testers at the technical company would conduct regular simulations to find the potential entry points from the attackers, and even the threat hunters would monitor closely for any suspicious activity which could be there. Then we have threat hunting process. Now threat hunting process itself is very interesting, where a systematic approach to proactively search for cybersecurity threats are not yet identified by the existing threats. So the threat hunting process itself would identify the threats itself. It would begin by the process of identifying the things, similar to the one which is covered earlier. Then we'll be using artificial intelligence and machine learning for security, etc. So we can use artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies to enhance the overall capabilities of cybersecurity practices. So we can say that these technologies enhance the security operations by providing 3 levels of intelligence, which is assisted, first of all, which supports the human decisions, augmented, which works alongside with the humans, offering the recommendations and autonomous processes, etc., like in the intelligence, etc., where it would work independently in making decisions. So this tiered approach allows the flexible integration of artificial intelligence into security practices, matching the level of automation to the organization's specific needs. So example could be a financial services company can use the AI and automatically adjust the credit card transaction rules in real time based emerging fraud protection threats and machine learning algorithms. But sometimes still there is a margin for error. So all these decisions has to be monitored manually as well, because sometimes it's flagged as a threat. Actually, it's not a threat, maybe something triggered it. So it's always a good idea to look into these things manually as well. In the end, we'll be talking about machine learning in cybersecurity. So the application of algorithm that can learn and make decisions, or the decisions based on the data to improve the security incident analysis. So by training the machine learning models on vast amount of the security data, these systems learn to identify and predict the security anomalies effectively. Anomaly detection is a crucial component, allowing the organization to catch unusual patterns that may indicate a security threat. So an example could be an e-commerce platform can use machine learning to detect and alert for any unusual purchasing patterns, etc. They may indicate the compromised accounts, etc. So that was the lecture on oversight and operations, and next lecture would be our last lecture of this series. Thank you very much.